Alright, and welcome back for some more easy blues harmonica. And today we've got a bit of a practice method that's going to help you understand what do notes really mean. Like what emotions and things does like a certain note bring up within you. Now, the first time I learnt this exercise, I remember reading it out of a book. This probably way back in the last millennium, but I definitely remember the emotion, and the emotion I felt was, I don't want to have to spend all this time. I just want you to tell me what the answer is. And I'm pretty sure I went off and got another book because this exercise is very simple, but it's doing it that gives you the benefits. And basically it's like using a backing track and playing every single note of the scale over that backing track. And it's a good sort of practice method to use on like fast backing tracks. Of course, I remember when I was sort of starting out, a lot of the backing tracks out there, they were a bit quick for me for practicing. Like I was like too many notes, too many chord changes. It wasn't something that I could sort of easily follow along with. So we're going to use the same backing track as we used last week, our fast Chicago Blues Shuffle. And literally all we're going to do is we're going to play each note of the blues scale over the chord progression. So it's going to be one note for the entire 12 bars, then we're going to move on to the next 12 bars. So grab your C harmonica, we're going to do this together, and then I'm just going to talk about a few little sort of things that you can benefit from getting this exercise. Now this is a practice exercise, this isn't something that I'd like play up on stage, because as you're going to find out when you're holding these notes, a lot of the emotion that you're going to get is, this is a bit boring, I want to change to something else. So yeah, have a listen to what each note sort of sounds like against the backing tracks, especially have a listen to how the note sounds as the chords change throughout the backing track. That's the most sort of important thing. So C harmonica, going to play in second position, so we've got our G backing track, and we're just going to start off with 2 draw, and we're going to move up through all of them. Now playing together, the 3-hole half-step bend can be a little bit sort of tricky because you're copying other harmonicas. Use your ear and try and copy what I sort of sound like. So harmonicas at the ready, get our Chicago Blues, fast Chicago Blues Shuffle from MCCD Sessions, and here we go. 3. 3 draw, half step bend. 4 blow. 4 draw, half step bend. 4 draw. 5 draw. 6 blow. 'Nice. So we've gone through the progression there. So like I said, one of the feelings that you'll tend to sort of get out of this is, I want to change to another note. So that's an important sort of feeling. But main things that I sort of feel, and what I feel isn't actually right or necessarily right or correct, it's just sort of how I feel. But when I'm going through those notes, are like 2 draw, pretty bland, seems to sort of work everywhere. Nice sort of safe feeling note. 6 blow. Safe feeling but with a bit more energy. 4 draw. Another nice sort of safe note. Seems to sort of work everywhere. 4 blow. To me, that's a bit of a differenty, changey sort of note. Like, doesn't really fit in quite as much with the others. That's our 4-chord root note. So yeah, a little bit of a different sort of feeling to that. Now for the interesting sort of notes, or the ones that I find really interesting. 5 draw. Weird note. Dissonant sounding, doesn't sort of sound like it's sort of right, and for me it really sort of pulls. Like when you're playing that note, you want to do this. It wants to move up onto that root note of the key of the song actually. So a nice like flavour sort of note in there, that's one I sort of think of. 4 draw, half step bend. Again, another dissonant sort of sounding note that wants to go somewhere else. Not as strong as like the 5 draw, like the flat 7, or the 3 draw half step bend, which is the flat 3rd. This one really wants to come up to the natural 3rd. So when I'm sitting on those notes, like my flat 3rd, my flat 7, I feel like I want to go somewhere. When I'm on my root notes, my 2 draw, 3 blow, or 6 blow, I feel really sort of strong, and the power of that strength for me tends to sort of come from like whether the note's high or low. And we've got like our 4 draw, nice sort of safe feeling note, sort of one that I can sort of like a bit of interchange really between like my 2 draw, 4 draw, similar sorts of notes, and then my notes that really sort of seem to mean something, like a dissonant sort of feel. Now, how those notes make you feel is the important thing, because when you're playing a song, how the notes feel lets you know where I want to transition to. So the next step in doing this sort of exercise is, once you've played through the entire song, we're going to do it again, but this time we're going to use our note, and we're going to use the note in the scale that's underneath it, and also the note in the scale that's above it. So for example, if I start on 2 draw, I can also use 2 draw double bend, or 3 draw half step bend. And the reason I play this sort of thing is when I'm playing my held note, I want to feel what are the notes on either side of it. So if I cue back up my little backing track, this will be harder to follow along because I will move in really ways that can't be predicted. I'll try and keep it fairly similar on the beat root note. Actually, I might try and go with the note that I'm playing, note below, note above. We'll see how that sort of works out. 1, 2, 3. Keep on that one. Let the 3 draw half step bend. Full blow. have to do the 6 overblow if you don't use that one a lot. So we hear immediately there when you're listening to me, there's a couple of things I fall into that seem familiar to me. It's like, oh yeah, I've used that in a lick. This is the way that I sort of explore songs and get inspired to play different sort of things. So focus on a note throughout the entire 12 bars. Focus on the notes on either side of it. Now, where this sort of exercise came from, it's not the original book I read it in. I don't know what that was. That was a long time ago. But this is based on Improvise for Real, which is a method I used for saxophone. Now, that was even more fun because it's a chromatic instrument. So when you're using the notes on either side, you've got chromatic notes in there. So there's a lot of notes to explore. And honestly, not a lot of it sounds really melodic and things you'd sort of use. It's about exploring your instrument. But when we're using our minor pentatonic scale, our blues scale with the extra note in there, this exercise is a great way to explore those notes. Listen to how they feel against the backing track, because if you just play one note by itself, it's just a note by itself. It's only when it's relative to other notes that it does something. So yeah, get out there, explore, and have some fun.